Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be with Ted DeBettencourt from JuvoLeads.com, 24/7 human chat answering service. Get 40% more qualified leads from your existing traffic with Juvo Leads human chat service. Ted, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, Seth, thanks for having me on the show today. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Let's go back in time just a bit. How did you get started?
I had a small marketing agency out in Boston. I had about 10 clients I was working with, mostly law firms. And this is 2015 or so. All my clients started getting hit up by chat companies that were out there at the time. They'd go on my clients' websites, start answering chats for them, send them leads. I liked them, but they kept doing the few things that were A, shady, and B, not to my liking. I asked them to stop the shady stuff, like blocking my phone numbers with big chat buttons, and change the rules for what qualified as a lead and what didn't. They said, sure, Ted, we'll make those changes, and they didn't do it. So I fired them and started answering chats myself, and when I did it myself, I could be a lot faster, a lot better, and wouldn't do anything shady. And what I found is I could get my clients a lot more leads. So it started as me answering chats for about 5-10 clients in Boston, has since then turned into us as a company answering chats for about 1,100 websites around the country.
Okay, so that is, I'm sure the longer version of that should be in a book somewhere, if it isn't already. That's awesome. So you started off doing it as manual labor for yourself, and then obviously it worked and it took off, and you have a company providing this service now. So tell us, I don't want to assume anything. Tell us a little bit about what Juvo Leads does.
Juvo Leads, we are human-powered chat. We pop up on a website that's a good fit, usually a B2C business. Think lawyers, doctors, home services, roofing, stuff like that, and even retirement homes. And we have a conversation with the visitor, figuring out what their needs are, and then we get their information and we send it to the business, typically law firms, something like that, or we book a consultation. So we turn website visitors into leads that are qualified for each individual business. And our motto is butts, not bots. Butts in the seat, not bots in the cloud. Real people answering chats 24/7, 365.
Well, that sounds absolutely awesome. So you're literally, again, with all of the AI, and there's a million chatbot companies now, you have actual physical employees. Are they US based?
Every chat that comes in is graded on a 10-point scale. So our agents are hired, fired, promoted, demoted based on their chat score. And every chat that we handle is manually reviewed by a person here in stateside. We do have chat agents that are in the Philippines, that are in the US. It really just depends what time of day the chat comes in and who answers it. But there's no difference between the scoring between our Filipino chat agents and our United States ones. The main reason we have United States chat agents is really for the Spanish, which sounds kind of weird. But the Philippines handles the English just as well as our U.S. agents.
Okay. And I love the fact that was going to be my next question. So you preempted it. That's awesome. You have you have humans chatting and you have humans reviewing the chats, and they get graded based on how they do. So if you had someone who, hey, I can tell that's not a native English speaker, that looks wrong, they wouldn't stick around as long because they would get downgraded, and the person who did an awesome job would get upgraded. Am I getting that correct?
Essentially, they would never see the showroom floor, as you were to say. It takes our agents about 3 months to go from training to actually taking live chats. So they've been scored up to that point. Everyone starts from day one when they take the first fake chat. They get scored on that. And once they've hit a sufficient score, 9.5 or higher, they can see the showroom floor. But it takes them a long time to do that. The main thing, no, you can't tell someone. The main reason we get score downs is speed. So it's about the faster we respond, the higher the likelihood we stay. Chat agents, when they first come in, they're concerned, oh, I don't want a typo. I don't care about typos. Be fast, say what you say, be empathetic. So that's what matters for chat, making sure we answer the visitors' questions as quickly as possible.
That's awesome. And the typo, if it existed, would actually probably humanize you because an AI bot would never do that.
More so now than when we started, but everyone, we used to get the occasional, are you real? Are you real? And we just say, I'm a real person. Feel free to ask me any questions. So sometimes people take liberty with that and want to play with it for a long time. But most often we see is they'll start midway through a chat. They'll say, tell me a recipe. Tell me how to make a blah, blah, blah recipe. Because with ChatGPT, it's really hard to curtail it to only talk about what you want to talk about. So we'll say, this is not ChatGPT. We're real people. How can I help you?
That is awesome. I love that you got a solution for that. That's great. So how long ago did you start it?
I was answering chats in 2015, and then we kind of grew from there. Hired team members, figuring out what I did. Every year we get better and get bigger, but since about 2015, so with almost 10 years now.
Yeah. That's awesome. How has the advent of, you brought it up, ChatGPT and AI affected your business?
It's been great for us. It makes our chats faster and easier to handle because we're always testing against ChatGPT. So we have a ChatGPT, I don't want to call it division, but we have man hours and dev hours we put into it. So we run through simulations. Here's a chat that came in, ChatGPT, what would you say? And the first 3 or 4 chats, ChatGPT is pretty darn good. After that, it gets a little skewed. So we have chat scripts that are a little bit more complex, so the person isn't really sure what they want. ChatGPT isn't good. For really simple ones, ChatGPT is going to change our business drastically in a few years. It's not quite there yet. So when it gets there, we'll have more data to upload into it than anybody else because we've literally handled millions of chats for, I don't know about million, however many chats we've handled over the years, we've handled that many. That's more than everybody else. So it's going to be a rush to who has the best data to upload. We have the best data, but right now, everything we uploaded isn't producing back human level quality to date. Awesome.
That makes total sense. You mentioned clients B2C, but most of them sounded like pretty high ticket, like doctor, lawyer, et cetera. What business, who's an ideal client for you?
Sure. Any B2C business where the average LTV of a sale, deal, purchase client is worth over $1,000. So think the roofing businesses, think the elective medicine like plastic surgery, men's health. Law is our biggest vertical by far. So the PI lawyers, the criminal lawyers, bankruptcy, all those. Because, we charge on a per qualified lead basis as defined by the client, but we're still like $35 a lead. So every time a lead comes in, it's $35. If I can get you 50% more leads and you're getting 10 leads today and you're getting 15 leads tomorrow, that's another project deal client for you. $35 is nothing. But if you're selling $10 widgets, you don't want to pay me $35 for a lead.
Right. A pizza place wouldn't make sense.
Exactly right. Yeah.
But, hey, that lawyer who's getting, that financial advisor, whomever who's getting 10, 15, 20,000 or more, it's a no-brainer.
Exactly right. So we work with businesses they have to have at least 500 visitors a month for us to even have a conversation. Because if they're going from 4 leads to 6, no one gets excited about that. But you have a business that's going from 100 to 150 over the course of that 30-day. We give everyone a 30-day free trial. Over the course of that 30-day free trial, they're going to say, wow, I see the difference here. So the bigger businesses with the high ticket value, they can really see the difference right off the bat.
That is awesome. And that answered my next question of what the minimum size was. And you based it on 500 visitors a month. So I love that. And obviously going back to your folks, you would need folks in other time zones to accommodate the fact that what if someone is chatting with a PI lawyer at 3 a.m. Eastern time won't work unless you have someone in another time zone to cover it.
Exactly right. And not a lot come in then, but when you do a business that needs to be on 24/7, you need to be on 24/7.
Right. So. Like I would imagine like a criminal lawyer or DWI,
Yeah.
You're going to get more chats late at night.
A lot of the greatest leads for, DWI lawyers do come in at that time.
Now, you're basing it on, they've got at least 500 hits to their website a month. You're not driving any more traffic. You're just making the traffic they've got convert better, right?
Exactly right. So a lot of the main question I get is, Ted, well, how can you prove to me that we're getting more leads because of chat? So it's a hard sell if the chat isn't already big in the industry, like in legal. 97% of the top 1,000 PI firms already have a chat, us or somebody else. There's a few big companies in the space. But if you're in home service, it's a little bit less prevalent. So that's why we really lean heavily on that 30-day free trial. So I'll say, all right, well, business, how many phone calls and forms did you get last month? They say, I got 70 calls, 30 forms, 100 leads. All right, we'll go live for a month. And you tell us how many phone calls and forms you get. We'll show you how many leads. So then we sit down at that 30-day mark to review the leads. You can see the raw data. So you get 100 leads before. Now you get 150 with us. Does it make sense to stay? And I let the data tell the story.
Well, I love the fact that you're willing to do a 30-day free trial so that they can see it. And you're basically proving it works in your guarantee period so that anyone staying after that has seen the results and isn't going anywhere.
Exactly right.
That is awesome. I mean, what's your biggest challenge now?
Biggest challenge right now is keeping up with their growth. I don't know if I should say that, if that's a good thing to talk about, but the reality is we for the past 3 years, we've grown over 100% each year. And our hiring should be faster, but I'm still somewhat kind of we're co-founders. It's me and another partner. We have a little bit, we don't like giving up as much control as we should. And that's probably our biggest growth hurdle right now.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I love when I start working. Thank you. And I love when I start working with a client and they are very hesitant. They don't like the idea. And then we sit down, maybe they agree to the free trial, they're hesitant, and then sitting down with them after that free trial and showing them the data. I love turning skeptics into believers, and I think the only way to do that is to give them the data and let them be excited. When I have a client that is very hesitant, and then on the trial review meeting after the 30 days, they're like, I can't believe it. That's why I do this business, because I love that face.
I bet. That is awesome. So do you ever have the situation where, because what you do works, they are then like, how do we get more traffic to our website so you guys can chat more people?
That's exactly what we always try to get to happen. So we have a lot of relationships with good partners that bring traffic, because at the end of the day, we're at the whim of how much traffic comes to the site. So when a client comes to us and say, all right, now we're getting good traffic, how do we get more of it? Then I say, okay, let me have you talk to so-and-so or so-and-so, and we make connections that way.
That is awesome. You've built an incredible business. You're growing super fast. You're trying to keep up with demand. What's next?
That's what we're trying to figure out, actually. Every time we grow 100%, we go, this is not going to happen next year. We're just going to slow down because we're getting too big. And then it happens and we're like, all right, well, that's scary. A good problem to have, but now we're kind of thinking, all right, what more can we do? We don't have the answer there yet, but it is actually something we are attacking right now. We have a few ideas, but I'm kind of a weakling for the most recent idea I like the most, and the one I liked 5 minutes ago I like a little bit less. So we're trying to simmer on a few.
Yep.
Recency bias. I'm big on that.
All good. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. We know it is incredibly valuable. Can you tell our listeners and our viewers where they can go to learn more?
Absolutely. If you're interested in trying out chat, go to Juvo, Juvo Leads, LEADS.com. You'll see a big video of a handsome young man there. That's myself. Start a conversation and tell us how we can help you. And look forward to chatting with you guys in the future.
Awesome. This has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur with Ted DeBettencourt of JuvoLeads.com. Ted, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Seth. I appreciate you.
Our pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.